I think the most important thing is to find the look. Is to find the look of that. How do you make a dream world? Not like so dreamy that it become like a fairy tale or fantasy, because yet it has to be scary, it has to be eerie, and yet in the real world you still have to be eerie and scary, but you have a different look. You have the realistic look.
In order to separate dream world from reality, we've actually made it reasonably obvious in most instances. In places like Freddy's hell, you're instantly aware that it's a completely outlandish place to be, and the same with Jason's dream world. These are places that couldn't exist anywhere.
So I was lucky to have Fred Murphy and the art director, John Willett, and everybody work so closely together, and the visual effect people sort of find that balance, So we use a lot of color, different color, a lot of primary color, like deep red, deep blue, deep green on the dream world.
When the nightmare parts happen in what we call a real environment, like one of the houses, then we've treated it filmically as different. We've played with lighting, with bleach passing, with all sorts of things like that in order to make it a bit more subtle.
Robert? Yeah. You tilt your hat back just light.
Freddy, Elvis, Krueger. Here we go, and roll sound now. Rolling. B marker. And set. Right. And action.
Boing, 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 boing. Oh.
The boiler room is an interesting set. It's Freddy's nightmare world, and what I've done there is modeled that set after a city called Kowloon in China, where it was a city that developed over the years without any regard to building code or anything else. And all of the cable and the plumbing and the wire and electrical were all just sort of hung on walls, and they would drape down hallways and into rooms, and it was quite outlandish. So the set was an existing boiler room, and we've added tons and tons and tons of cable and wire and boilers and all sorts of mechanical and electrical stuff, so that it's absolutely crazy in there, and then painted everything with 5 different coats of paint in the sort of rust and fire range, so that when the light hits it, it has this very deep texture to it.
That's a good one there. That's great.
Penny for your thoughts, Chief.
Hey, Robert, does he want me to grab him and start that move? When I turn him around?
Yeah, up here, right? Yeah. And Jason is painful like this. And then this hand, actually, without you knowing it, is pulling out the machete. And this hand, you push me, rather than turn around. Yeah. No, you just push my hand, almost slice decapitate me. I see.
Well, I think that the film needed this look, because the look of the film has this sort of graphic novel look to it. The whole way it's stylized is because of the contribution between Ronnie and Fred Murphy, the cinematographer.
Wait 1/3. Okay, we have speed. Hey, pull this slate out. So rolling. Here we go. And action.
I'm still too far out.
You gotta come closer.
All right.
And action.
Penny for your thoughts, Chief.
Okay. All right, I thought we were gonna catch his dialogue, his improv dialogue at the end. So do you want it to get set and action?
Penny for your thoughts, Chief. Oh, scary.
Okay, we've cut. Thank you very much.
That was much better. Yeah. Okay, that was our first really
Roll
good
again.
one.
Here we go. And roll the sound, please.
What's interesting about the production design on this movie is that we have decided to not treat it like a normal horror film. We've decided that we actually want to make all the sets and the costumes and everything else very real, so that when scary stuff happens, you're really not expecting it at all.
But when he falls,
When it falls, it's still not green.
With Jason's dream world, to differentiate it from anything else, I've used watercolors because that's his secret fear.
We're gonna have like he hit, right? He hit, he fell,
right?
and then we have the second unit have a shot of the bursting, right? Oh, that should be sort of red, yeah.
Right.
So when we cut back to Freddy getting up, it's green, right?
Okay.
What did he see? We can just jump back.
You see him through the water.
Yeah. Right?
And then we
And then through the water.
reverse again.
Reverse.
Through
You
the
see
water.
Jason come up. Whoop. Looks up.
Through the waterfall. Yeah,
Pull the
through
water, right? Come down, and then go back to Freddy. We can clear, and Freddy's eyes go. Fantastic. You can shoot reverse magazine, and then have Robert try to walk
Backwards. Like I'm walking out of it.
You know what I mean? To shut off. No,
So he's dry.
it's dry. So it's like
There you go.
it's like the water sort of like part.
Yeah, but the water will be going up.
Yeah, gone, and then as it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
So we have to time this, but try a couple
Yeah, I
times.
have to like, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like.
So we do this from the side.
Yeah, from the side.
Okay.
Okay? Let's put some dust on him. Let's put some dust on him. We just came up from that boiler.
135 Utah, take one.
Mark.
Hailing mark.
And set.
Action again.
Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Good. Okay. Yeah, cut. Yeah.
I swung machete at the water, made contact with water.
Exactly. Good. And then you try again, which
Yeah.
is great.
Okay, good.
And then try again, and then sort of like
You want 3 times?
two times. And when I said lower, really low, lower it down to like non-threatening
Okay.
pulse. Okay. Let's try again.
10 3%. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Precision.
No. It's just the chin thing was that. Go again.
So there is something you're afraid of after all.
The most fun I've had in the sets on this movie would be split between, I think, Jason's world and Freddy's world, because they truly are nightmarish environments, and they're the kind of fun stuff that make it quite unique visually. There is a big exterior wherein I've built a house that's at 45 degrees and sunk into the swamp, and there are around it all sorts of heads and arms trying to get out of the ground.
So the other one was.
So we got a total of 3.
Okay, so we're there. Okay.
Plus 2.
Okay, can we just.
Keep an eye line open for Daisy.
John Willett?
Yeah. Hold, 1 sec, we're just gonna figure that out now. Yeah, how far do you think you want him to walk? And that will determine how far we put the platform. You could either have him come around this way or from shore. It seems, I guess, like he's got to come from shore because why would he walk around the back? So, but you're not gonna want to have him walking all that way because that'll just be. Let's go straight back from where we are, more or less, and that gives us a 3/4 onto it for a start, okay? Charles, we're gonna need about 30 feet of platform.
30 feet, eh? So it's all shadow water, right? So no matter how far it goes, right?
No, well, it does. No, he's on a steel platform. We'll just extend the steel platform, but it does get deeper. But
What you suggest, the light comes from them? Yes.
it could be that dormer window there.
Okay,
Yeah.
down window, okay. So we have to put battery like this and how?
What we could do is put a white bounce in the back and then just hit something like that and it'll pop.
Yep.
And before we go, what we'll do is let these guys see the back of it so they can see their access.
What do you think of the mud, John?
What did we do? Well, I think the mud's gonna be fucking brilliant. I love the mud. What it's gonna need is a lot more greens, obviously, but that's a great base.
Well, we got lots more to dress it. We just,
Oh, no, I know. As I said,
Wait.
this isn't dress. This is just a base.
I'm waiting for you. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's right, that's enough. That's enough. My math isn't very good early in the morning.
What do you think, Fern?
Do
Poon's not happy today. Poon's spirit is bruised.
Get that? 3 rings?
Yeah.
You got 15 minutes.
This movie, as with most movies, the set construction, if it's carried out correctly, that about 20 minutes after the director yells, cut, the whole set will fall apart. Because that means that we haven't wasted one nail or one piece of wood in order to achieve the scenery. On a couple of instances, we actually have very, very big fires. And you can't use burnable materials, believe it or not, when you're staging a fire, because then take 2 becomes a bit of a problem. So what we've done is things like the dock, which you'll see in major fire near the end of the movie, it's actually made of steel and a product called hardy board, which is inflammable, or flammable. That's always a funny one in English. And it's all piped with propane pipes, so we can control the fire all the time. And that way we could use it as many times as we wish without risking the whole thing burning up. This film is different than others I've worked on because A, it's a big horror film, and I haven't done a lot of those. I've done similar things like Halloween H2O and Final Destination, but this is the first true sort of slasher horror movie I've done. So it's very different and challenging because in order to make it interesting, you have to do something different, and how to separate it has been the fun part.